Stone Colby's right there with them. Checkered flag is out. Who gets it done? It's a photo finish for Brands Hatch coming to the line.
From the push, I don't know. This is going to be a photo finish.
Oh, Stone Colby taking the checkered flag to the inside. Who's it going to be? It's a photo finish. Give it to Brendan Burt. Conquers Watkins Glen. Gets turned across the line.
Thank you for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure. From the weight and power of GT machinery to the precision and commitment of Formula 4, the West Coast Sim Racing GTF Challenge changes direction once again. And this week, the setting is Road Atlanta. This is a circuit that demands confidence from the opening sector. The blind crests, fast elevation changes, narrow racing line leave very little room for hesitation, while the long back straight creates real opportunities for drafting and late break moves. In these F4 machinery, momentum, aerodynamic, grip will be critical. Drivers must stay composed through the S's, carry speed beneath the bridge, make every count for major braking. These cards reward commitment, but Road Atlanta has a way of punishing anyone who crosses the line from brave to careless. This machinery has changed. The championship challenge continues. And tonight, the field faces one of the fastest, most unforgiving laps of the season. This is West Coast Sim Racing Formula 4 at Road Atlanta. In the GTF Challenge, it's time to go racing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to Brazelton, Virginia, in the United States. Brazelton, Georgia, the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Track that was founded in 1970, designed and built in under 1 year, 2.54 miles for us to tackle, 12 corners, 7 to the right, and 5 to the left. Cloudy conditions here in Atlanta. I'm your host, Soccerboxy, taking you from green to checkered flag as usual. A couple keys to the race is you've got to commit through the opening sector. Run through turns 1 and 2 in the S's is where confidence can really make or break your lap. Maximizing the final corner exit is important because whoever launches their cars onto the front straight, a clean exit can really make or break a lap as well. Using draft wisely on the back straightaway, well, that's as simple as it gets. Stay disciplined through traffic. Well, the drivers have to do their best to stay patient when it comes to them, and that leads to tire temperature management as well. Take a look at the points before the weekend as we get going. It's Edwin Onofre with a commanding lead of 51 points over Brandon Birch with 39. In the hunt for P2 is Josh Hunter with 37 points, tied with the young gun Nico Colby. Benito Gonzalez with 36 points, Brendan Myers running in 6th, Mitch Crowther, Alexei Andreu, Connor Cunningham, Jeremy Fletcher, Dylan Lee, Warren Johnson, Colton Juarez, Jacob Ballin, Colin Thomas, Mason Olney, Thomas Divley, and Boris Dragovich rounding out the top 18. Taking a look at that driver representing the Mexican flag for the 101. 1/10 down currently on Slater Colby. Let's see what they can do to improve. Hello and welcome again, Mr. Birch. One of these days, we're going to have to get you behind the wheel of the sim rig, Mr. Birch, and no longer become a spectator. You'll become a participant of the West Coast Sim Racing organization. Top 9 within 1 second currently as we get to the last half of qualifying. On board with Fletcher as he parks it. Let's take a look at someone who is going to complete a lap. This is Connor Cunningham coming up the hill through turn 2 and 3. Now plummeting down the hill through the S's. Let's see how much oversteer he's getting from this car. It's going to be flat out all the way down into 5th gear. At the bottom of the hill, turn 5 over the curves. We bottom out the car. Steve Birch asking, do you want me to school these boys? Well, absolutely, Mr. Birch. Show us how it's done. We have Nico Colby's father participating as well, if I understand that correctly. Just 5 minutes left on the clock. What can Cunningham do to improve this lap? Will it be a marginal improvement? Coming around through the final corner, he's half a second back. Crosses over the line. That won't be an improvement on that lap. But you know who is improving? Darren Colby, who's going to find P10. Correction, P11 as Colton Juarez snatches away that position. Toto Colby and Benito Gonzalez right now, separated by a 10th and a bit. Benito Gonzalez couldn't stitch it together just yet, but will he be able to do so throughout the closing stages of the session? 4 minutes left on the clock. That'll leave us with just 3 more attempts to go. Benito Gonzalez. Look at that train of cars behind Benito, and that's going to be a huge margin to gain coming down the backstretch versus a driver like Benito who's running all by himself currently. Gonzalez gets bested by Jeremy Fletcher, who does it again. Finds out what the first row tastes like. It's all provisional for now, though. Birch, the next driver, looking to improve. Caught in a bit of a sandwich right now. Has to use the draft to his advantage, gets a slingshot. Help from the number 25. That's Slater Colby helping him out. Nico Colby getting a tow as well. Getting purple to sector 3. Joshua Smith, welcome in. Cheering on Jacob Boland, excuse me. Joshua Smith cheering on Jacob Boland, not the other way around. Final minute of the session. Birch finds P5. Will be good enough for his championship run. Remember, we have 2 heats coming up for this event, folks. So this is going to be an exciting evening, to say the least. 16 drivers taking to the grid. It's going to be packed with action. Less than 20 seconds remain on the clock before we get concluded. Session concludes and ticks over. Let's go ahead and take a look at the unofficial results for the qualifying. Slater Colby, Jeremy Fletcher, and Edwin Onfrey, the 1, 2, 3. Benito Gonzalez, Birch, Nico Colby, Brendan Myers, Connor Cunningham, Josh Hunter, Dylan Lee, Warren Johnson, and Darren Colby. Jacob Boland, Boris Dragovich, and Thomas Divley round out the top 15 participating. Take a look at our starting grid, shall we? It's going to be Slater Colby and Jeremy Fletcher on the first row. And starting on the second, it's going to be Edwin Onofre and Benito Gonzalez. Row number 3 going the way for Birch and Nico Colby. Row number 4 belongs to Brendan Myers and Connor Cunningham. Row number 5 is Josh Hunter and Dylan Leeds. Row number 6 going the way of Colton Juarez and Warren Johnson. Following that will be Darren Colby and Jacob Boland. Last but not least, we have Boris Dragovich dragging up the rear with Thomas Divley. Drivers revving their engines, rearing and ready to go. And it's green, green, green here for the F4 Fight Night with West Coast Sim Racing. Birch caught in the middle of things right now. Gets a couple of positions. One done on Benito Gonzalez. Looks like another one done on Edwin Onofre in the Ford. Here we go, folks. The action is among us. Connor Cunningham squabbling for positions. Looking forward to the 101, Benito Gonzalez, who's down 3 positions currently. A big off there for the 22. That'll be Jeremy Fletcher having a big mistake. A code brown for him can be championship deciding. Side by side between Gonzalez and Fletcher through turn 9, but in towards 10. Fletcher's latest on the brakes, and even with a little puff of smoke, a little lockup galore, he manages to cut through cleanly. Take a look here at Dylan Lee as he tries to attack Josh Hunter, who's off at turn number 1. Hunter won't return to the racetrack until we get to the top of the key of 3. Speaking of Josh Hunter, there he is rejoining at the S's at the bottom of the hill. Brennan Myers going wheel to wheel with Benito Gonzalez. The number 23 and the 101 are squabbling, but bickering, the squabbling, the squawking. It will end at 7. They'll fall in single file line for now. Big asterisk next to the for now portion of the conversation, because we still have another heat coming up after this one. Here comes Birch on Slater Colby, but in the background, looking on, it's going to be Nico Colby and the 199 of Edwin Onofre. Slater Colby just commanding this one right now. Last lap round, 126.5, but the fast lap of the race goes the way of Nico Colby last time by. Jonathan Bick, Road Atlanta is one of my favorite tracks as well. Here comes Birch on Colby. Using that draft for his advantage right now. But looming and waiting, the 199 of Onofre looks like he might want to pounce at any given moment as well. Slots back in behind, but the real estate was occupied by Onofre. Birch has to stick in behind the leader of the race, the number 25 of Slater Colby, who has the negative speed compared to Onofre and the 36 of Birch. Oh no, big spin, big drama at turn 2, and we've got F4 cars into each other, and that's going to be more big drama and more big spins. That's Birch going all the way down into P11. Here's Warren Johnson. Looking forward. Also checking his rear view mirrors. Alongside him, Dylan Lee. Really is putting in the work this evening. Dylan Lee up 2, but Warren up 5 and wanting to hold on to as many of those positive gains as possible. Nico Colby backs that thing up right into Edwin Onofre. But here's another battle. This one includes Dylan Lee, Warren Johnson. Four-way squabble at the top of the hill. Into turn 3, one car goes off. I think that's Connor Cunningham. But Connor Cunningham's still in it. Then that must have been Josh Hunter who went off the racetrack. Big gaps now opening up throughout the field. Check in with Darren Colby as he battles with Jacob Bolland. Again, the draft playing a huge part in this race tonight. Is Davis racing today? I don't see Davis on the charts. Speaking of charts, there goes a big mistake from Jeremy Fletcher in the 22. Let's see what happens to Fletcher in the JFR 22. He goes off the track at turn 1, keeps his foot in it all the way to turn 3, tries to get on the brakes, and there's just too much grass there. That leaves us with Onofre and Colby to duke it out for the lead now as we get through the halfway point of this one. Josh Hunter has gone over to the rear wing of Warren Johnson, but makes a mistake and loses out a ton of speed. What happened to Hunter? Oh, big slip up behind Warren Johnson. Lose that rear wing, but get it plopped right back on and get back out onto the racetrack. Battle for P1. Separated by 3 seconds. And that podium position kind of locked in by Brendan Myers currently. Here we go into the final 5. Most important part of the race. The drivers who have worn down their tires to nubs will be starting to feel the pressure build from their opponents behind. Colby in P2. Brendan Myers in 3rd. Slater running in 4th. Benito Gonzalez in 5th. Gonzalez catching up to Slater. Colby like a short rocket ship. Here comes Benito to the inside line. Down the hill into the braking zone of turn 10A. And a puff of smoke with that lockup for Slater. Nico Colby chases down Onofre. And that continued battle. The last lap around 120.6 compared to a 120.4 for the leaders. Dylan Lee tries to get things done with Connor T. Cunningham, but it looks like he has slipped, tripped, and fallen his way into an accident. See what happened here to Dylan. This is through the S's and probably came over the curbs at 5. No, even before then, where he slipped up. Onofre keeps on getting peekaboos from Nico Colby. Speaking of peekaboos, here comes Jeremy Fletcher trying to spook Benito Gonzalez into a mistake. Big poofs of dust. Here's Dylan Lee's moment again. And Jeremy Fletcher's pass, that was heroic on Benito Gonzalez there. Jeremy Fletcher making money moves, my boy. Looks it forward, and that's Slater Colby, a driver who started the race out in P1. Barney not quite waving the white flag just yet, meaning we'll get this one plus one more by the looks of it. And Edwin Onofre continues his charge. Up 2 positions gained this evening. Will Nico Colby be going for a late break move coming in towards 10? He's there. He's all over the rear wing. He dives to the inside. Onofre backs out of it free and clear. Knows this is going to be one more to go. Now Barney's waving the white flag for us with just 3 seconds left on the clock. Onofre might be too far back to make anything happen on Nico Colby. Going into the final chicane, he needs to close down the gap quicker rather than slower. It all matters coming out of turn 7 here. Way too far back unless he gets a big toe here. 3/10 and dropping like a stone to a pond. Edwin Onofre now makes the look to the inside line. He slams on the brakes. He goes wide though. Tries to carry enough speed. Onofre crosses the line. Will bring home P2 adjacent to Nico Colby, who brings home P1. Brendan Myers brings home 3rd. Jeremy Fletcher in 4th. Benito Gonzalez, Slater Colby, Connor Cunningham, Warren Johnson, Josh Hunter, Brandon Birch, and Dylan Lee, Colton Juarez. All rounding this one out, Jacob Bond, Darren Colby, Thomas Dively, and Boris Dragovich. As we wrap things up, let's take a look at the results for heat number 1. Nico Colby, Edwin Onofre, Brendan Myers take the 1, 2, 3. Then it will be Jeremy Fletcher from JFR Esports, Benito Gonzalez, Slater Colby, Connor Cunningham, Warren Johnson, Josh Hunter, Brandon Birch in the top 10. Dylan Lee, Jacob Bullen, Darren Colby, Thomas Dibley, and Boris Dragovich round out the top 15. Mr. Birch asks, where did I get my track management knowledge? Just from learning the tracks. I've driven, on simulators for 6 years now, and it's been a lot of driving, and then I have track guides that I build for myself week after week for every single track I've ever done, and then it's just a good refresher to go through it before the race and see if there's any updates to the track over the past couple of years that I haven't talked about it, and learn and we grow, Mr. Birch. We learn and we grow. Warm-up period underway. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks. What a race around Brazelton, Georgia. Couple things that the drivers need to get right again are going to be the keys to the race this evening. Manage the tire temps, use the draft wisely, maximize that final exit, and commit to these corners and getting that first sector right. Let's take a look at our starting grid, shall we? It's going to be Nico Colby and Edwin Onofre on the first row. Then Brendan Myers and Jeremy Fletcher. Row number 3 will be Benito Gonzalez and Slater Colby. Connor Cunningham and Warren Johnson on row number 4. Following that will be row number 5 and Josh Hunter and Brandon Birch. And row number 6 for Dylan Lee and Colton Juarez. Row number 7 going this way, Jacob Bullen, Darren Colby's name written all over it. Row number 8 for Thomas Dibley and Boris Dragovich, but it's green, green, green. Nico Colby takes off in the 199 of Edwin Onofre, tries to get back into that coveted pole position. Next race to be held on the GTF calendar will be at the Fuji Speedway. Absolute banger tracks coming up in the next couple of weeks. There's a move Jeremy Fletcher's making on Brennan Myers. Myers down one from where he started in P3, currently gets a big help of the toe from Jeremy Fletcher. This should slingshot him into the lead of the race. Same thing that Edwin Onofre is doing right now, trying to get slingshot. And we go 3 wide coming down into 10A in the background. Connor Cunningham is off. He rejoins the racetrack, and it'll be Birch, Johnson, and Dylan Lee to pick up the pieces. Coming through the final corner, the 2, it'll be Warren Johnson in the 24, the green machine. And then watch out for Connor Cunningham on that inside line. The 502 could lick the stamp and send it on none other than Dylan Lee. Dylan Lee finds himself touching a little bit of grass, as the kids love these days, but that's a little too much love because he loses out ground. Slater Colby gets a slowdown penalty at the top of the hill, and that'll be it for his charge to catch up to Brendan Myers for now. Birch up 3 into 7th position now. Only 25 minutes remain on the clock. And as they all said, it's only just begun. Nico Colby now leads Edwin Onofre, and then Brennan Myers running that number 23 to a podium position. Slater Colby in tow in the 25. Jeremy Fletcher keeps on disconnecting in and out of things. Hopefully he can restore that connection here shortly. First 4 under a blanket of 2 seconds currently. The VehicleBuyers.com JFR machine. Fletcher. A little bit of stake coming through turn number 5. Really charges down his batteries. That is his momentum. It just snatches it away from him every time he touches the curb and puts a couple wheels off into the dirt. Doesn't hurt Brendan Myers as much as it seems. Slater Colby still unable to get the move done there. Coming down the front stretch, or the back stretch, I should say, Nico Colby and Edwin Onofre toe-to-toe in these open wheel F4 cars. Colby continues to be under threat and take the threats from Onofre on the chin, especially through turn 1. He leaves the door wide open, knowing that Onofre couldn't pick it up. Connor Cunningham chasing down Warren Johnson. I'll be the battle for 8th and 9th position, but we'll stay here with the top 4. Darren Colby has an accident. Let's take a replay and see what happens here. This will be at turn number 5 for Colby. And he's just going to lose it coming up the hill. So easy to do. Back to the battle for first. Turns into a side-by-side run between Onofre and Colby. Onofre back into the lead of this one. Again, all things are just temporary. You could just be holding on to it for Nico later on in the race. But the leader of the championship probably knows what's at stake here. It's bragging rights and, of course, the West Coast Sim Racing belt. Brendan Birch doing well now, actually. He's caught up to the rear end of Fletcher. Going toe-to-toe with Fletcher isn't something I'd recommend, but he's going to give it a try and cut through the butter like a hot knife. Fletcher now behind Birch. What can be done here from P6, or has Fletcher potentially given up on this race already? Benito Gonzalez watches on as the duo ahead between Birch and Fletcher duke it out. Is the Helios logo on the car? Mr. Birch asks. Well, let's see. I'm not seeing it as Birch nearly runs into the back of Slater Colby, who's going toe-to-toe with Edwin Onofre. Go side by side, 2x2. Make that 3 wide up the hill through turn 2. Big spat out into 3. Yes, I do see the Helios logo. Right there. Next to the F4 logo. There it is again. Mr. Birch, you're getting your money's worth here now. I have to start charging you for adverts for your company, sir. Here we go. The young gun, Brennan Myers, the number 23, licks the stamp and sends it on Edwin Onofre going into the bottom of the hill, turn 10A. And Myers again tries to get things done, this time on the Slater Colby. No doing to be had. Oh, and off goes Nico Colby. Straight off at turn number 7. Takes his 2-liter inline 4-cylinder and turns it into a lawnmower. Down at the bottom of the hill, we go back up to turn 5. Jeremy Fletcher watches and waits for his opportunity to strike. This isn't a car that you can bump and run in, so what's Fletcher going to do? He's going to send it at turn 7. That's what he's going to do. Into the braking zone of turn 10. The trio go wheel to wheel. It'll be Fletcher now into the lead between Birch and Myers to squabble over the pieces. Out of the final corner, it's Fletcher, Birch, and Myers. And look who's there, Benito Gonzalez in his teal machine. Nearly running to the back of Jeremy Fletcher. Birch almost clips that gearbox. Free. What do you have cooking up your sleeve as well? Lap times nearly identical as they trade blows. Who says you can't bump and run in a Formula 4 car? As Brandon Birch shows us how it's done by giving Jeremy Fletcher a little bit of a push. Dylan Lee is into the pits after crashing. He's going to get passed by a group of drivers throughout the field. Onofre going toe-to-toe with Slater Colby. Gotta go for a shot here at the halfway point of the race. Being in P2 because only being one thing. Be at P2 when the checkered flag falls. Let's hear your predictions. Who's your vote for driver of the day this day for the GTF challenge? A little bit of pocket sand getting thrown up by Brendan Birch, who's climbed his way all up into the top four. Onofre challenged by Slater. Slater snatches away the lead of this one. Jeremy Fletcher watches on and studies the maneuvers from the duo up ahead. Now, Fletcher, I can only imagine, will find a way to get into the lead of this one. Just 10 minutes remain, folks. And the top 5 all separated by just about nothing. The snake draft begins. Fletcher, all the way from third, uses the draft to get up into the lead of the race. Just 9 more minutes, folks. And the drivers have stayed very composed this entire race. Not a lot of mishaps, not a lot of mayhem. And obviously with no pit stop strategy to disrupt the evolution or the flow of the game, remains harmless. Get into the DRS zone here. Looks like Fletcher's going to defend the inside line, but switch back over to the racing line here. Less than a tenth the gap between the leaders. And the vehiclebuyers.com team do anything over Jeremy Fletcher and his JFR badge car. A bit of an off there. Brandon Birch in the 36 finds a move, gets one done. Slater Colby defends into 6, and a 7 touches Birch's rear end, and Birch is gonna go straight off the racetrack. The remnants of that battle lie here between Edwin Onofre, Myers, and Colby. Connor Cunningham's done a great job of bringing down the lap time to himself and Brandon Birch. Let's take a look back at Slater Colby here. Battle for the podium starts to become a little bit more solidified now. Three abreast down through turn 9. All the way down the hill towards 10A. It'll be duos. Trouble for, though, Benito Gonzalez as he sees trouble on the wall in the braking zone of 10A and backed out of it completely. Benito Gonzalez loses ground to Brennan Myers, but that gap has come down a little bit between himself and Slater Colby. Take a look at Warren Johnson here. He's battling with Colton Juarez going into the witching hour. Warren Johnson able to cut through on Colton Juarez, who makes a mistake at the top of the hill. Slater Colby gets passed by Brennan Meyer. Final 4 minutes of the race. Brennan Myers leads Slater Colby. And Slater is glued all over that gearbox. A little bit of a touch there from Brennan Myers to Slater Colby. There's a mistake. And who is that? That's Nico Colby. Colby already down a lap. Gets it wrong coming through the final chicane. Here we go. Again and again. The battle keeps on building up. A little bit of pocket sand thrown up there at the exit of turn 7. Trying to blind his opponents that aren't using the iRacing banner and windshield. Going into the final lap of this one, folks. Barney's going to wave the flag high and proud, leading us onto the final charge. Jeremy Fletcher battles with Onofre, but here and now it's Brennan Myers and Slater Colby. No doing at the top of the hill. Onofre too far back, or is he? They go wheel to wheel coming through 2 and 3. Onofre into the lead. Onofre into the lead just when he thought it was over. He turns it upside down. Here we go. Down the final stretch for the final time. JFR Esports goes into the lead, but Brennan Myers gets spun. and it's going to go the way for JFR, Jeremy Fletcher, Edwin Onofre, and then Slater Colby. Brendan Myers picks up the pieces in P4, Connor Cunningham in 5th. Birch is going to bring it home in 6th with Benito Gonzalez and Warren Johnson in 7th and 8th. Colin Juarez, Jacob Bolland, and Darren Colby round out the 11 finishers. Nico Colby, Dylan Lee, Boris Dragovich, and Josh Hunter. Thomas Divley sitting this one out. Let's get those results pulled up here in just a minute. It was Edwin Onofre, Slater Colby, and Brendan Myers who took the 1, 2, 3. Connor Cunningham, Brendan Birch, Benito Gonzalez, Warren Johnson, Jacob Bolland, Darren Colby, Dylan Lee, Boris Dragovich, Josh Hunter, Jeremy Fletcher getting disqualified. Nico Colby and Thomas Divley round out the top 15. Giving the drivers a few minutes to get into the interview room. We're looking for Jeremy Fletcher, Edwin Onofre, and Slater Colby. Let's go ahead and talk to our interviewees then. We're going to talk to them and figure out how their race went. Slater Colby coming home in 3rd with 3 positions gained for the feature race. Slater, how'd you end up managing to conquer Road Atlanta?
Honestly, first time in this car in a while. I actually had fun. I really like Road Atlanta and these cars. It's fun to drive something that's actually got some glue on the tires. But it was fun. Guys were ripping. I mean, you kind of had to go all out, like, as fast as you could. Edwin's car was just, I don't know, it seemed like it was a rocket ship. The thing would just tow into me, no problem. But unfortunately, I ended up colliding with Birch. I don't know what happened. I think I zoned out or something, but I just clipped the back of him and it sent him. So that one's on me. But it was fun. I liked racing those because you can't really bump or anything. So it's definitely a different type of racing. But yeah, I had fun.
A lot different than the last lap battle that we saw last night. That's for sure, right, Slater?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Anybody you want to shout out or anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, Vehicle Buyers, you for broadcast, and Warren for putting on the league and letting me come in and run one. Friends and family at home watching, JFR, and yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Slater. Really appreciate you. Have a good night and stay safe.
You too, thanks.
And quick corrections, actually. The win actually not going Jeremy Fletcher's way as he was disqualified. It looks like
I did. Also Warren. That was Nico.
Say again?
I did win. Warren overturned it. It was Nico just DQing me.
Copy that. Okay. Disregard then. Okay, so Edwin Onofre coming home in P2 at the end of the day. So the order still stands the 199 of Edwin Onofre. That was a hard-fought battle for P1 at the end of the Heat 1. Another hard-fought battle at the end of Heat 2, the feature race. Edwin, talk to us about your opinion and your point of view of how things went down.
I was really not expecting to get this pace as well, but I think I just got very familiar with the car too quickly, and at a track that I have a lot of knowledge getting around. It just basically was just a race of attrition. Just make sure that you don't wrong it at the wrong place at the wrong time, and get far behind from the competition. So I was able to keep it up there at the first race with Nico Colby. There was a lot of action that happened behind us, so we were able to just basically be in front the entire time, and it was a pretty good battle with him. And then in the second race, it came down to four of us driving up front. So it was Slater, it was also Nico until something happened. It was myself, Jeremy Fletcher, and as well as Brendan Myers. So we had a pretty good run around there. We ran into a few issues between each other. We were slowing each other down. None of us can really get away from the other. This track is very draft dependent with these F4 cars. So yeah, if you're not in the train, you'll be falling behind, and if you're not chasing the other car from at least a second away, you'll be trailing away slowly from it. So it was a good takeaway of this race. Yeah, I do like the level of competition that there was. There was like a lot of back and forth between the leaders and a lot by side action. So it made for a pretty fun race. I truly enjoyed it. I wish I had to win, but you can't win them all.
For sure. Edwin, anybody you'd like to shout out or thank tonight?
I'd like to thank you guys for putting up this broadcast for us for West Coast Sim Racing, the GTF Challenge. I'm pretty excited about the series. Shout out to Tech Sport Racing. I'd like to represent them as always. Thank you so much for that. And shout out to you guys watching on YouTube for being supporters of the series. I really appreciate you all watching every race that we do. All right, that will be enough for me tonight. We'll see you guys on the next race, wherever that is.
See you next week when we race at Fuji. Up to Jeremy Fletcher in the number 22, who was posthumously replaced or put back onto the podium, I guess, after being wrongfully disqualified post-race. Jeremy Fletcher, how does it feel to be back on the top step of the podium for another round here at West Coast Sim Racing?
Yeah, it's a good weekend sweep, especially when you have two people that waited for you and tried to crash you. So happy I could still keep my nose clean after they waited and kind of get Nico out of the way. And they waited a third time, and I was just kind of focused on that. And Edwin got back up to the front. But me and Edwin always race clean. Edwin has good head on his shoulders, and I think we just had a good car tonight, hopped in with little to none practice, and got it done.
It works out well for you every single week, Jeremy. How do you manage to do it? Is it just car confidence or consistency? What is it that drives you to such great skill?
Mindset, practice, and dedication.
Sounds like a recipe for success, Jeremy. Anybody you want to shout out or anybody you want to thank here in Victory Lane?
You always for putting on a broadcast, Warren for putting on this league, playing Minecraft with me, the whole JFR Esports crew, the Colby family, Rainey family, everyone watching on YouTube, and yeah.
Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate you supporting West Coast Sim Racing. Have a great night and stay safe out there.
Yes, sir.
Last but not least, we have Warren Johnson, the fearless leader himself, who came home in P8. Warren, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. All I'll say right now is everyone is guilty until proven innocent. So the final results are not solid yet. I will release the results at a later time.
Understood. Warren, any further announcements that you'd like to make before we head off and resume next week for Monday Night Madness?
Nope. All good. We'll see you guys Monday. I'm going to go take care of this, and we'll see you guys then. Thanks a lot, Sagar.
Take care, Warren. With that being said, folks, it's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag yet again. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you green to checkered flag as always. On behalf of West Coast Sim Racing and AK Esports, I'm Sagar Bakshi, bringing you all the action. Have a great night, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.